Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network here, where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata Live. Hello, Albin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very glad that it's weekend, but that's about it. And you, Jan?
I'm happy as well, and I'm also happy because it's the Wikidata Data Reuse Days. So that's why we're coming up from our unregular schedule and coming live and doing some streaming again.
Have you followed a lot of the days?
Not all of it. I saw yours in Snowman, and then we also were doing a little presentation about GovDirector and quality. And I think yesterday I was on all evening.
Right. Yeah.
Have you seen anything else?
I have seen a few presentations. Of course, I also had one for an hour, and then actually when yours and mine stream, it was pre-recorded, so I muted it and switched tabs because I can't do it.
Ah,
You might think that I should be able to do it by now, but it's a tough one.
yeah,
But yeah, I followed quite a bit,
yeah.
about half
So
of
what
the
are
day, imagine.
yeah? So what are we doing today?
We are looking a bit on Wikidata and how you can use Wikidata while also like, if I use Wikidata, what if someone changes something? Will it break the stuff I use if I reuse Wikidata? And we want to look a bit on it, how we think about it in
Yeah,
practice. Like, okay, we reuse Wikidata a lot, you and we are always worried about things breaking. So we try to keep up, and this is how
yes,
we do it.
yeah. So we're going to show a little bit in practice some of the methods we have developed. I'm actually going to start right from the scratch, from the like how we get some data out, and if I'm lucky in these 30 minutes, even perhaps get a country all the way to GovDirectory. So we'll see if we're quick enough. But I think we'll get started then. So I'll share my screen, and as you can see here, this is one of the new projects new countries on GovDirectory, Cuba, and it's not published yet. So here, everything is on Wikidata only still. And we have our little template here, and it's also the collaboration country of the week, our focus country.
And I just want to jump in. Every week we have a discussion about which new country that we should have a focus on. And if you out there have an ID, tell us either on Wiki on the GovDirectory part or in the Telegram group for GovDirectory.
Yeah.
We will appreciate it.
Yes. Now we do have one for the next week because someone yesterday wished for Uganda to be the focus country. So if someone asks us to it, we're going to put you in the queue.
Props to them.
Yes. And here we can see we have a query for ministries, and I have checked this once, that it had a green check mark, but I think we're going to check it again here just to see, so that you can see what's happening here. And it's a fairly simple query. I think I might zoom in here even a couple of times more so that you see better. We're just asking for something that is an instance of Ministry of Cuba. Like super simple query. And then we're checking, but don't take the ones that have been dissolved because there's some historical ones. These changes over the year. So we're just going to run this one now and see if it's still 21. And goes very quick. And we get 21 results. So we still have a good query here. So the green check mark that we had over here, that's still good. So now we know one type of item that's sort of ready for being published on GovDirectory on the website. Now we're going to see the next one where we have something here. So we have provinces of Cuba. So this is the first level administrative unit agencies. So let's check that query. And it says 15 plus 1 because no country should be easy enough, so they have a special case. They have one that is a special municipality. Now click the province. We can have that one still up. I'm going to go for the query. So if we get the special case in here, while still having this sort of fairly simple query, so we're always checking if does it have province of Cuba as an instance of. Here we see that we have a little bit more complex filtering because some of these are modeled as having an end date on their instance of rather than having a dissolve date. And we're not always going in and changing the models for countries depending on how they have done it, because we might also break someone else's queries. So if we see that, oh, this is not too complex for us, then we adjust our queries. So let's see what we get here on this one. And we only get 15 results. So we don't get the special case. And I think we're going to take a look at the special case just because we might have some people who are knowledgeable here. And even on the Wikipedia article, it says 15 provinces and 1 special municipality. So let's have a look at Isla de Juventud. I don't know my Spanish. And go over to Wikidata. Ooh, here's an interesting. Consider adding the date check next to the green check mark. That yeah, when adding it, one could always do it. It's not that lot of extra job. But I'm going to show you a few more tools later so you can see. Well, this is on Wikidata, so yeah. Either that or just clicking the query, because if the query runs quickly, it's not too long time. And here we have the item, and I immediately see something here like, oh, this is both an island and a municipality. So maybe this is a conflated item, and it's going to take too long for us to figure that out right now. So I'm just going to do the provinces and skip the special one. So we had 2 queries. We had the queries for the ministries. We had the queries for provinces. So we're going to try to bring those over to Gov directory. And just jumping over here to the Gov directory GitHub repository, we had this nice little guide here, add a country, that we can always come back to, and I do often as well, not to forget anything, that we've written up like, well, what are the steps we need to do? And the first is, of course, to try to make a query that combines all the things that you want to pull in. And we have an example here from Sweden. So I'm actually going to copy and paste all of this because it's a very well and tested start query. And then I'm going to see if I can open a new just editor here. And I think I'm going to need to, can I zoom in here? View. No. It's going to be a little bit small. But basically, no, this is not good. I want to zoom.
Can you do Control Plus?
Control Plus. No. I think I need to go to the preferences here. Fonts and colors, and then we'll go like this perhaps. That's better. That makes it a little bit easier for you to follow. So the expected result count, that was 21 ministries and 15. And adding that together in my head, that turns into 36. And if you saw our little short talk yesterday, this is a number that we're actually using later on in our automated tools. And then this is going to be the same. And then we're going to need the country QID. And we go back over here to see 241 for Cuba. And then all the values here, we can remove those because these were for Sweden. So we're going to replace that for, I'm keeping one to understand what it was. So we need the ministries of Cuba, and I had that QID in here. And we'll bring that over here, and we call this ministries. And that was 21. And then we're going to have another line here for the provinces, and they had the QID of this. And comment provinces, and those were 15. And these numbers are not actually used. They are only for the humans, because we also need some help sometimes when we want to troubleshoot. Our tools are, as of now, just giving us a match or fail on the total number. So that's why it's very good to have these. And then I'm going to bring over also, otherwise this is more or less the same. We don't need to change anything here. I'm going to change the Swedish language fallback for Spanish instead. It doesn't make sense to have it for Swedish there. And we're also going to add the one, which should actually update our template to have that in there as well. But then we had this little thing as well that was special for the provinces. So we need to add those minuses there. And I'm thinking we can probably make it safer by adding that in here. I'm just going to run this and see if I get still 15. Yes, I do. So I'm going to bring this one over so we're not accidentally removing something else from the ministries. And we'll go down here to the minuses. And now here's one trick that I sometimes slip up on. We call this org here, not item. So, oh, that's a mismatch of them. So here is the query that we think like. And
do you want to add a comment to that last line?
To this one?
Yes.
Yes. So we wanted
because I will wonder.
Yes. Exclude some former provinces. And then, of course, this is just a regular query. So I can just take this and grab it back in here and check and run it and see, do we get 36 that we think now? Or what do we get? And yes, 36 we get. So now we know that the query I made here was good. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this in. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you here quickly. I've done a little bit of preparation. So I am on a branch here for adding Cuba. Gov directory website. And then we call these generators. So I'm just going to call this one cuba.rq and save that one. And let's see if I do status here again. We have a cuba.rq. So that's the first step of adding a country, create the generator query. And that's the bulk of our instructions as well. Then we need to update. We do have a query for the countries. So we need to update that one to make sure that we adding it in the right way. We have a line for each country. So we just want to add in Cuba there. So I'm going to open that one here perhaps. And that's one step up, countries. And here we see all the countries. So these are 35 lines here for that. And do we have any specific order for these now?
Countries that are multiple levels, like United Kingdom, comes in the second batch, but other than that, no.
Okay. So I'll just copy Latvia here, which is the newest of the original one. And our server Q241 for Cuba. We change this for Cuba. And this is what we call the safe name, will be in the URL. And it's ministries and what's going to call these regular provinces.
I think that's fine.
So that we make sure that no one is wondering over the special case. And then this one should be fine. So I'm just going to save this one as well. And there we have those two. I'm going to check what else do we have here. Yes, so we want to configure the view as well. And if you saw Albin's longer snowman thing, you will know all about this. But for now, I'm actually just going to go into that one and copy and add sort of the kind of thing that we need. And that's up here in views. And we have plenty of lines here for all the ones. And I think we have the same there then.
Indeed.
Oh. There we go. But this wasn't not Latvia. This is Cuba. And Cuba.
And I think that's it.
That's probably it, yeah. So now we can test these in various cases. And one of the things that you saw in our short presentation was that we have a script to test if the queries gets correctly done in our side. And I think that's called something expect like this. And if I run these, we can run them all, but we can also run them with a path. And I think it's queries.
Good question.
Maybe I'll do again. Or wait. I might have someone in the memory here if I just go up.
Okay, grep for it. I want to teach you grepping.
No. Let's check our instructions. I think we have instructions for this, don't we?
I'm sure we do somewhere. Probably not in the README.
In the contributing?
We got it in the action file.
Ah.
Like ultimately.
Yes, so we can watch our actions here.
And I think it's inline, so if you open the script, there's probably a comment at the top of it saying how to use it.
No, not here. Where do we have that?
If you click workflow file, run details, workflow file.
There we have it.
And then there it's probably...
So but we didn't get all of that there.
And where does it pick up that file? I guess it's with queries then. I assume it's the entire thing with the root URL.
There we have it. Oh, Latvia. And instead here, I'm going to go with Cuba. So now, the spelling is good. So now it's going to run our query and see what do we get. And then it uses these expected. That's actually picked up from what I wrote in the top of the query. And then it runs the query and says, oh, I got 36. So we know this is a good one. So that's very good. And if we run it without anything, it's going to run all of them. So this takes a little bit more because I think it's now 36 queries it's issuing. And each of them take a couple of seconds. So it takes a little bit time, but if this works, which it did earlier today, we get a very nice little table. And you can also see that our status is not perfect, but we're very close. And we're working on our quality all the time.
We actually once dropped. We have been like deleting information from Gov directory because it no longer fit our requirements in Wikidata.
Yes.
It has happened now. And I also want to point out, because this script is taking a while, that if you want to do this exact thing, you can actually just copy this script and use the same type of comment. There is nothing specific in there about Gov directory. You can
No.
just reuse this as much as you want to.
Yeah. And especially, I think if you have a Snowman built project, it should be very few changes you need to make,
Yes, I
because
mean
then,
you can do it with any path because it's
yeah,
take the entire path. But in a lot of our tooling, if you're using Snowman, reuse it. It works. It's proven.
yeah.
Well,
So we have a lot of passes, and we have a little summary in the bottom. 37 of them passed, 3 failed, and we also get in that Cameroon, there's too many. There's an ongoing discussion about 2 newly made ministries, where I don't know, are there actually new ministries, or did someone forget to add an end date and they're old? And then we have some inconsistencies in East Timor, and then some in Switzerland as well. So if someone can help us figure these out, that's only like this is a diff of 11 organizations and only 4 on Switzerland. So it's not too much, considering there's over 12,000 in total. But that's basically it. Now it's sort of like ready to go. I usually try to build this locally as well, just to see that it actually works and don't break anywhere else before I push this. So, and I think that's a good practice to do it. Now this might take a little bit time as well, but then it should be fairly quick.
do you have a recent cache?
I built this earlier,
Okay.
so it shouldn't be too bad.
No, then it should go quick.
Yeah, but my computer is not very quick either, so so it's that as well. While doing that, I'm gonna go grab the emoji for. Oh, where can we find that? We should find that on Cuba, I guess, for the flag, because I like to add the emoji for the flag emoji to my commit message. So let's see if we can find the flag emoji here in the Cuba item.
Someone should make a tool based on Wikidata to browse emojis.
Flag image. Maybe on the flag of Cuba we have the emoji, because that's where it would fit. There we have it, Unicode character. So I'll copy this, and then we'll, still building. I guess I can do a second just to see, and we can do git add queries country and views and queries generator Cuba. So we have them there. This one's still building. All right. I don't want to commit if it's something that's wrong, because then I need to clean it up as well. You can always do it. Yes. We have New Zealand, but Australia is not on the list. We have started it. I think if we go back up here, I think there's a project started for Australia, and there's some data that's really good. But I think we also ran into some problems somewhere, and we thought, oh, we need someone with local knowledge to help us get through this. We have the state departments, and then I guess we didn't know exactly where to go here. Yeah, I think that was it. But there's a lot of registries of Australia. It seem quite digital.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good focus country, because it looked to me like everything that needs to happen is that someone needs to take it under their wing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an upcoming focus week. Now I'm slightly concerned.
Is it still running? I should have done the
It,
verbose.
it is
But
very rarely crashing.
yeah. Yes, we can share this page. So, oh no, this is Cuba. Did I close the Australia? Here. So I think if I post it as a comment, it comes out to all the ones.
Yes.
Well, anyway, no, maybe I'll do like this. We'll do a little wildcard here. So I'm gonna go do git commit
Yes.
this,
Go ahead.
and we'll add. No, now I don't have the flag anymore. There we go. Add Cuba. No, not capital G. Push this, because one of the things I want to show here also, that I think we also saw yesterday, a screenshot for, is now there's actually a test running here in our actions. Yeah, we saw our actions when we were looking, but we can see here, go over to the actions where they are running a spell check as well. And oh, this was just a build. And it failed.
The spell test failed.
Did we have Cuba not in the?
Yeah, probably Cuba is a spelling error.
Yeah, all right.
Normally, when you contribute the first time to Gov directory, you don't actually need to care about this, because if there are errors in there, we will fix it, or we
Yeah.
will show you how to fix it if you want.
Do we have a capital Cuba as well? No, then it would have failed on that. Or I didn't fix the typo. I added it to the list. That was a bad one.
I will squash merge it anyway.
Yes. All right. Very good. And now let's see if I go back here and back again, I guess. Update this page. There should be a new one running.
And under, if you look just after the, if you go back,
Under, yeah.
and then you see all workflows.
Yeah.
In the left panel, and then you got run shake expected count script.
Yeah.
If you click on that,
This didn't trigger.
might only trigger on a merge.
No, I haven't created a pull request yet. It triggers on the pull
Okay.
request. And we don't have any issue reference for this. It follows this one. There's nothing for this. Have I tested it yet? Let's see our second. Still running. I haven't tested. I'll create it without the.
Yeah.
And now we should see. Yes, now we have the second script here. Queued, waiting to run. This is where we wanted to see. Oh, it was very quick. So yes, no changes there. Passes here.
Nice.
Very good.
Exactly how it should be.
Yeah. I think, though, perhaps we should exclude. No, it could be in there. If it happens to break, it's good to catch it. Yeah. So the next step would be for someone to come in here and review this one, and then it's in there. That's how we pull in a country.
And then it takes a little bit longer time before it's updates on the website.
Yes, we do it a little bit back and forth. But that was what I want to show you. We had a couple of tools there for first checking on Wiki with our queries, or not so much tools, it's regular queries, but sort of like workflows. And then we have actual workflows on GitHub.
Indeed. And I want to show a little bit about how we can move certain parts of this workflows and the quality checking away from Gov directory to more like how is this general purpose for Wikidata. And I'm going to jump straight in. Here we are. Hello, Wikidata. How are we feeling today? No, but I'm going to head over to Gov directory, the Gov directory page here. And I know we made a shortcut, but I don't remember it. I think it's Gov. I imagine it is. And I think I'm going to start. Okay, let's use Cuba, of course. That's a new icon. Ah, it's the week. No, it's not a new. It's for the weekly. So we have always had it like this when it's come to Gov directory that, hey, we need ministers for this to complete, and they should be 21 because then we got all of them. And we have always done it like this in Wikitext. So if I go here, this is what it looks like. It should be 21. That's it. And I have made a proposal that we do not want it to be like this anymore. We want it to be like this. VD. Let's jump to the item. And then let's add quantity. And we didn't have a source for this, so I'm just going to put it in there. It was 21. And
Yeah,
that's
I think the
it.
source here is the Wikipedia article.
Likely. And why would we like it to be like that? We can query it with a query service. We can track it easier in version control using structured data. So we can actually see if we add dates to those. Like at this time, there was 21 ministers, but 2 years ago, there was just 20, maybe. And things like that makes it way easier to track, like, what is this ministry that just showed up? Maybe someone wrote an article about a historical agency on Wikipedia, and there was a item created for that, and everything is broken because the numbers does not match anymore. But if we start tracking this, that won't be a problem. And instead of having it like this in Wikitext, we do not have this yet. I would like this to be a template. Like we use as the QID for Cuba, and it takes that number and shows it here. Maybe with a reference if we got that, and the date if we got that, and maybe we even have a bot which runs and gives it a check mark automatically. That would be way nicer. So I want to show a little bit more what we can use this for. Not only can we do like automated validations like we just saw, but we can also do something like this. This is a very experimental thing, which is a part of Go directory, and it is the
Can you
quantity
zoom in a
track.
little bit?
Yes, of course. Can zoom in a lot actually. And what this does, it without thinking about Gov directory, it's just I want every type that's a government agency or a subclass of government agencies, and I want them to have a count, and then I want to check that count. Is that correct? And this does not only allows us to give a nice table of this and see if things are correct, but for Gov directory, this allows us to, hey, are there things that are already ready for Gov directory that we do not know about? Because maybe someone has already worked on what here do we not have in Gov directory that's complete. House Secretariat in Japan, there should be 2, there are 2. We do not have that in Gov directory. What else? Oh, we're too good on putting things in Gov directory. We
I
got.
don't think we have the ministers of Bangladesh.
You don't think we have the ministries of Bangladesh? Another great example. Likely we could just copy this as it is and put it in Gov directory. But we can also see here that there are way less types here than we already have in Gov directory because we haven't actually added the quantity. So I want to go through a couple of countries and add that quantity so we get a little bit closer to this reality of automatically checking the quality of the data. So for Cuba here, we have a lot of, we have the number only for this, that one, of course, but it's a tricky one, I imagine. Or is it? It's maybe not.
I think for the provinces proper, I think it should be
Because
straightforward to add
we get
15 to it.
15 here and we have a unique QID for this one, so we can. Did we have a source?
Also only Wikipedia.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna close some things down here, so getting there. Then let's go in here. It says quantity 16 here. Oh, because it has the special one. I guess.
What is the reference?
There is a reference.
English Wikipedia. Okay.
And it's a list.
Yeah.
Let's. Yes. Okay. So that's 15 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave this one.
Yes. we can start with the hundreds of easier ones.
Exactly. Because there are 100 easier types, I'm gonna start with them. We got, among other things, the municipalities in Cuba. Oops. VD. Thank you very much, browser. And we had a very exact number, so 168. And we do not have a quantity. It suggests quantity, and I'm gonna add it. But I also want to add some of the ones which has sources. So, but Cuba is okay. We had a special case, so it hasn't solved it entirely. We're a bit on the way. Let's keep going back here. Why? Oh, the back button does no longer work on Wikidata. If you have been editing the source.
Can you use the up there? Yes.
Yes. No, when I find a bug, I can easily lose like an hour trying to like what's going on here? How can I reproduce this? Oh. Let's do Finland. I don't think I saw Finland in there. I saw a little bit of Finland, but not all of it. So what ministries? I already saw them in, and they do not have a reference. We do have the municipalities with the source, or at least a note. No, we got one. Sadly, it's in Finnish, but that's completely reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go to the query node to know the QID, and already having the QID there would be an improvement. So we do have quantity here as well. I wonder, did it show up here? No, interesting, interesting. Let's see, 1st of January 2025. Does this match our data even? No. This. No, it do match. Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. It do match. But we have a reference here. Let's see. I am gonna search for the number, which was 308. And why can't I search? Yes. I'm sure that tells me the right thing, and I can use. Can I show it in more languages? Finish. Yes. Great. Okay, let's add a reference here. That's not it. That's it. Reference URL. Because I imagine that if we automate this, then we could also display things like the reference so you can quickly find it. It picked up the language of everything nicely. That's great.
Yeah, that would make it searching for when it doesn't match much easier if you have a direct
Yes.
link to the source.
And you could also write queries like picking it up and displaying. So you can have a query. Here are all the errors. Here are all the references, and you can just click them directly from the query service.
That would be lovely.
Okay. Finland is also annoying because it's another special case, with Åland being a little bit of a special region because of all the peace agreements. Like, I think there are 3 current peace agreements that regulate Åland. I want to check for quantity. And am I
see it.
Yes. You saw it?
Yeah, there.
Yes, 19. What do we say? We say 19. So it's already in there. We do not have a source. Has someone done this? Did someone know what I wanted to do today?
I think I've done Denmark as well and Finland.
Okay.
But I haven't done Norway, I think.
You haven't done Norway. Let's find Norway then. I want to go through all of them, but let's see here. All government agencies. We do not have a query here, so I do not know. Do they have a unique QID? This is actually a great case for why we should have unique QIDs. Like, in some places it's modeled like this is a ministry for oil and fish. Sorry, we are at Norway right now. And then it just says country Norway, and it's only a ministry of oil and fish. But it's also actually type, because a ministry in one country is not the same as a ministry in another country. So we need that special country type.
Yeah.
And having this type of quantity is a great use case for that as well. Okay, we do have the ministers here, 17. And we have something that looks like a source. And lucky for me, that web page is also in Norwegian, which I can manage. So we got 17, but I'm after the QID. And let's hope we do not have this data in there. We do have this data in there. But we do not have a reference and a point in time. This looks very much like a reference. Great. So I'm going to add that. Reference URL. I'm a little bit wondering, do you think I should add like a point in time to the quantity? Because usually there is a start and end time, but I do not know that. Is it then wrong if you don't know to add a point in time?
I mean, this is better than not having it at all. And if we have a start date, probably would be last election or the election before that. Yeah. But like we had it on Finland there, where we actually had the times, that was very good.
Yeah. So I think if you know the start and end times for quantity, you should really add it. But then I'm a little bit split in if you really need a point in time. And I've kind of
No.
settled on it's great if you do not have a reference. If you have a reference with a date, like in this case, then it's less important to me. Is it universalism? I do not know. I would be interested in people's opinions here.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards not using the point in time property at
Like
all,
ever?
but only using the start date or end date. And then there are also these special cases, these that like latest start date or something like that, where we can add when, well, at least we have when this source states it, but we don't know how far before it could have been.
Would you ever do like a new known value? Like a new value options to start it?
No, I guess technically it's not wrong, but I'm not sure how much it adds for anyone.
No. So I do not have the strongest opinion here, but
Yeah.
we need some way to do it, and it would be interesting to know what people think. Let's see. We got the first level. Isn't this the regions? No, I'm confused. No, it's not. Or is it? It's just called something else on this page. Okay. I did, however, click the municipalities, which should be 357. Let's see if they are that many to begin with in Wikidata. And then let's look up the QID. They are the right number at 357. Let's see. Yes, the preferred date shows up down there, but we do not have a reference. Did we have that on the page? It very much looks like so. Yes, this is the perfect one. Then let's do that as well. Because essentially, if we get a smart template which can pick this data up, we can actually stop putting the URLs and sources in the wiki text all together and just do it like this, which I'm looking very much forward to.
Yes.
So we got another one, and I would like to see. We don't have a count here for how many. We should really get this.
Is that running live?
This is running live, yes. So it might be cached here because I want to be nice to the servers.
Yes.
So we might not have gotten Norway in there, and this is also highly experimental, so it might not pick up all the cases we want. But it's also on the gov directory GitHub, in case you want to have a look at it. No, it's not showing up here, and it might be for two reasons. There is an error in here somewhere, or the response is cached. Either way,
Yeah.
adding things here will make new things possible. Did we do all of Norway? I feel like we should do all of Norway. I am a little bit unsure on this one. We do not have source. And there is something. No, it's all minus.
Yeah,
Oh, it's one
this
of
is
those.
just complicated modeled for former ones.
Yeah. We do have a quantity, and we did not have a source either, so that's perfect. Um, we have all the answers. That's always a tricky one. I actually want to complete Norway here.
Ooh, and there we came to the thing that we don't have a specific type.
Ah, yes.
So here we
Hmm.
would have needed it.
This is this. I am incredibly disappointed here that we do not have a better way. We can't actually solve it here, but for educational purposes, this is great. This is what happens when we do not have an item type for Norwegian embassies, because we can't add a quantity here to indicate how many embassies Norway have at any point in time. And this is a great reason that we actually need this large type hierarchy, because they are so important for this type of quality checking. Um, I am not today gonna create a new item for this, but it illustrates really. I wouldn't call it a problem as much as an opportunity.
Hmm. Yes.
Um, but yeah, great, we clicked that. But I think jordskrifträtter no orchard country still have, so maybe Denmark. Um, so that's a unique one. Land consolidation court, they call it in English. Okay. We do have the quantity. Did we have a source here? I feel like we should have a source on this one.
But it wasn't the same.
It
It
wasn't
said
the
17
same.
there, and on our page it said 19. So, or,
This illustrates. So this law, this is the actual law, but it's a few years old. So let's we do have new information at all here. So let's go to the Norwegian Wikipedia. And until 2021, they were 34, and they are 19 today.
17 seems just plain wrong then.
17 seems just plain wrong. We
No,
do
no, I'm
have,
just
because we
hopeful I didn't add that.
let's see, we get 19,
Oh, that's good.
and let's see if there is a source. There is a source here. Um, yeah, of course. Yes. But it should have been a good source once upon a day. It was a very official government website.
Yeah,
Um,
which makes
I
it
feel
more
like
the sadder that it broke.
because they in the article here tell we have the previous number, I'm rather much trusting this 19.
Yeah.
That said, in Norway, they have more than one language, and therefore we can check another Wikipedia for the number. And this one, which is usually slightly less updated, has only the old number, if I read this correct. This is a little bit trickier to read, but yes, they only have the old number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trusting that 19. We can, of course, do one more thing. Let's see if Jan added this. I added this. That's
Oh,
completely, yeah. Yeah. Then
All
because I
right.
do not have a source here, of course I can change this.
You feel safe reverting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I'm happy to revert myself, especially when I have a source. Otherwise, it might be if I did it wrong once, I might do it twice. But it wasn't you, y'all.
No, I was relieved.
Lookup failed, but it seemed to have succeeded. Okay. Here we do have a start date. If I read here,
Mm-hmm.
until 2021. So the start date must have been in 2021. I assume it was the 1st of January because it's been decided in the law since before, but I'm not gonna be that precise. Precision year. There we go. Um, and I do not have a source for it, and it, in my opinion, a little bit less important, but I am gonna add this old one together with the end date, end time, 2021. And
Do yeah,
I do want to set this to preferred.
yeah. Do you want to add a qualifier reason for preferred latest value?
I think that when it comes to this obvious ones with start
Ah,
and end time, I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
that that's a little bit redundant.
yeah. I agree.
But whenever there is a question to it, I also sometimes when there are multiple images, but one is obviously much better,
Mm-hmm.
I also don't add
Yeah.
that one. Should you do that for something like images? Maybe, not sure. Um, I haven't seen like I'm not sure if there is a policy on that or anything like that. If there was complete consensus, I would follow whatever the consensus was. I'm not like very opinionated in that type of thing. Okay, now we need to check this another one on Norway just to make sure that I haven't made another error. Should go through all my edits in the last year and see quantity 23, and I imagine I have added this, but I probably left the. We do not have a source here. Okay.
Could have just been a typo from the 7 and the 9.
Yeah, I probably did a bunch of them at the same time and copy pasted the number and just missed it on my clipboard. But this, I wanted to show like the opportunity we have here of taking this very important information, which is kind of meta information, and move that to Wikidata and show what type of thing that enables. Um, so this is something I'm going to continue with. I would probably at some time, not too long in the future, make this smart template I imagine for checking this. But yeah, that was that from me. I would love to hear people's opinion also if there are more types of values that should related to quality tracking that should go into Wikidata. Like what other properties can we use to track quality inside of there? Yeah.
All right. And I'll just quickly show my query here, why it took so long time. Because I got a
Oh,
503 from the query service, so it got stalled. And I guess
right.
then the Cuba query might have been new, so I didn't have that one cached.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably it.
yeah. So more.
It would be nice to be able to set a shorter timeout on queries. Like some people talk about, I want a longer timeout on things. I would often like a shorter one because if a query takes more than 10 seconds, then it's probably gonna fail. Um,
Ooh, that could be sort of like an option. You
yeah,
fail fast.
exactly. Fail fast option for the query service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just
that's very
thought
interesting.
about it now. Right.
All right. So we showed a few quality tools, methods, ways of thinking for
Future work.
for external users of data from Wikidata, and also a little bit like what are some ways we can improve Wikidata for everybody, because what you're showing here, like adding the quantity, that's useful for info
Yeah.
boxes, just making sure that each country is up to date, and stuff like that. So not only for external users, but really like a combination.
Indeed.
And then, as we also mentioned, like, yes, the world is constantly changing,
Yeah.
and that's why also why we need this, because
Exactly.
adding the points in time, so we know, oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
an election, a new government, of course it's going to change.
I think most of the problems we do run into on Gov Director when it comes to the numbers to no longer match is actually not something messed something up in Wikidata. It's something actually changed in the world out there.
Yeah, yeah, and most of the things that we are getting messed up is not editors messing things up in per se, but rather they're adding things that we haven't foreseen yet.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're adding something like way back, and perhaps sometimes getting creative with the ways of adding dates or forgetting to adding dates, and it pops up.
Yeah.
And then for the Wikidata reuse days, that's going on for another 5 days until to the 27th of
We're in
February.
the middle of it.
Yeah, but I don't think you and I have anything more, so we can just enjoy the rest of the ride.
Yeah, exactly. We see you in the chat.
Yes. And until we see you here again, happy editing.
Happy editing.